Let me thank you personally for the reforms that you have instituted. No? But in fairness to the former BIR commissioners, one of whom is present here, no? I invited former Commissioner Kim Henares, but apparently she's not around. So we'd like to hear the comment of former Commissioner Lumagi. If you have some comments on the reforms being that were presented by the new commissioner.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning to the members of the committee. Well, first, my only comments are that I think the reforms made are comprehensive enough and addresses a lot of issues that surround the or apparent abuse of LOAs. I also agree specifically with the abolition of the VAT audit units because last year I was also supposed to abolish the VAT audit section and VAT audit units for this year. So that is one good development because it will absolve the taxpayers of the issuance of multiple LOAs. So that is really a necessary and a big help to all the taxpayers. And from I think the reforms cover again comprehensive enough from the procedure to the accountability, kaya po maganda naman po yung mga reforms na nagawa, and hopefully ang pinakamaganda rin po dyan na narinig ko po na sinabi that they will still continue to listen to all suggestions as they implement the programs that are being put into place because importante po yung taxpayer engagement, and that is also why during my time po in-establish po natin yung multi-sectoral partnership agreement because we also really have to listen to the taxpayers. Kaya naman po maganda rin po yung magiging aksyon na pakikinggan, and marami pong channels where the taxpayers can contact the Bureau with respect to different issues. So yun lang po, maganda po yung reforms na nailatag po. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Lumagi. Ang isang talagang key para maiwasan yung corruption, di ba, transparency. And obviously, yun yung thrust ng inyong reforms because yun nga, yung taxpayer open sa public yung inyong website, no? Ang isang tanong ko, which I also asked yesterday, hindi ba nakalink ito sa egov.ph? Kasi yun ang alam ng mga kababayan natin, pag nagta-travel, doon agad pumupunta. Then from egov, hanap ka lang ng NGA, LGU, and so forth and so on. So I would suggest na instead of, parang standalone yung inyong website, i-link nyo na rin doon sa egov, no?
Yes,
Commissioner.
Yeah. Actually, nakalink na po, Mr. Chair.
Nakalink na? Yeah. When did you do it? Kasi kahapon parang hindi pa.
Link talaga.
So pag nagpunta sa egov for other purposes, pwede rin magpunta sa BIR website.
Yeah. Nakalink po sa website namin,
Yeah,
Mr.
okay.
Chair.
So ang isa pang key yung, of course, minimize or eliminate human intervention, di ba? Kasi it seems that papunta kayo sa digitalization. Ilan yung naiwan na may human intervention pa, may human contact? Ilang percent?
As of now, Mr. Chair, the previously issued letters of authority that are still active at the time we suspended the audit is around 45,000 letters of authority. But these are subject to consolidation, Mr. Chair, unless the taxpayer requests otherwise.
So sa ngayon, sa issuance at saka yung pagpirma sa LOAs, ilan na lang yung authorized?
Ngayon po ang
Kasi ang una narinig ko, ikaw na lang authorized na mag-sign or mag-issue ng LOA?
Yeah. Hindi po. Ngayon po, under the new rules, the auditees, the taxpayers to be audited will have to be chosen by the system. So the core criteria for choosing the taxpayers to be audited are already embedded in the system. So ito pong system ang maglalabas ng mga taxpayers na i-audit and then i-approve po ng Commissioner of Internal Revenue at kapag in-approve ko po ay ibababa po ito sa mga revenue regions or sa large taxpayer service. Anonymous pa po at that point for assignment of the auditors and the group supervisors. And then iaakyat po uli sa amin so that we will de-anonymize and then saka po ibababa uli sa revenue regions for issuance of the letters of authority by the regional director or by the large taxpayer service. So dalawa na lang po generally ang makakapirma sa letter of authority, yung large taxpayer service ang magkakandak or yung revenue region or yung regional director po. Or kung merong fraud, yung National Investigation Division or yung RID depending on the threshold.
Kasi the first time I heard na only the commissioner is authorized to sign, sabi ko ma-overwhelmed. Wala nang gagawin yung commissioner kundi magpirma. Imagine, 45,000 ba yan?
Yun po ang currently
Yun ang
active
bilang, di
open
ba?
LAs namin.
So nagulat ako when I heard from Senator Tulfo, sabi niya, maganda yung reform kasi commissioner na lang magsasign. Wala nang gagawin yung commissioner kundi mag-sign ng LOA. So that's good kasi parang bar exams, hindi nyo alam kung sino yung examiner, hindi rin alam kung sino yung kukuha ng bar exams, di ba? Parang coded, sabi mo nga, anonymous. So hindi magkakaalaman. So ano yung possible loophole na sinabi ko lang bar exam kasi kapapasa nung anak ko eh. Kaya anyway, yon. Ano na lang yung mga loopholes na pwede nyo makita?
Ko, yung procedures, yung reforms namin ngayon, Mr. Chair, ito po ay kinonsider namin extensively yung comments and suggestions ng various stakeholders. And this was subjected also to public consultation. As much as possible, we did our best to come up with a policy that will measure up to what the public hopes to expect from us, which is transparency and predictability and fairness. I think ang bigger challenge po dito is the actual implementation. And that is where the challenge is now. We have to make sure that all our revenue regions, our unit in the national office should be able to implement this consistently and according to the letter of the rules at wala pong unnecessary exercise of discretion. So ang tututukan po namin dito sa mga darating na araw ay ang actual implementation.
We now yield the floor to first the Vice Chairman. And when I reclaim my time, ang tatanungin ko lang, ang focus ko lang doon sa audit process flow. No? Diyan ko gusto mag-focus, so kindly prepare for that. So Senator Irwin, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Commissioner, ang tanong ho natin, pakipaliwanag ko. So, yung LOA po will be generated, automatic po yun from the system. Tapos pipirmahan nyo na, aprobahan nyo, and then ibababa nyo po. So, actually, ang system na po ang mamimili because may nakita siya na may deficiency doon sa pagbabayad ng tax ng isang business. Is that correct? To my
Tama po yun, Mr.
understanding?
Chair. Yung system na po ang pipili ng i-audit sapagkat may nakita siya doon sa mga records ng taxpayer na nasa system din po.
Tapos, aprobahan ninyo kung, and then ibababa sa regional office
Ibababa
ninyo?
po muna para mag-assign ng examiners at ng group supervisor and then iaakyat po sa amin to de-anonymize and then saka po ibababa uli para sa issuance na pagpirma ng letter of authority either ng regional director or ng assistant commissioner.
So doon pa lang ho sa pag-audit, maiwasan ho yung human intervention ng mga RDO kasi ito po ang pangunahing problema dati. Ang RDO lang po ang tumitingin, papasok po sa mga auditors niya. This time, yung system na po ang titingin kung sino po ang may problema, may questionableng pagbabayad ng buwis. Yung system po ang gagawa ng report tsaka po ibibigay ho sa inyo?
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
All right. My next question, sir, is that we speak of audit reforms, pero yung question po, the harder question is, may nanagot po ba? Ang dami nating pinadalang LOA, base po dito sa files po namin, doon sa LOA po na naipadala po dati, 1% lang ang nakaabot sa DOJ, ang nakasuhan. And then, wala, mas lesser pa po sa Court of Tax Appeals. Ang tanong ho natin dyan, may way forward din po ba kayo na para hindi na po maulit o sufficient itong reforms ninyo para maiwasan na po itong areglo, etc.?
Well, maliwanag po na nakalagay sa ating RMO na ang mga kawani ng BIR na hindi susunod sa mga bagong panuntunan ay mananagot, makakasuhan sila either administratively, civilly, or criminally. But meron din po kami mga ongoing investigations of BIR personnel. As of now ho, meron kaming 30 employees that are undergoing investigation. In fact, yung 25 po sa kanila ay meron ng formal charge.
Another question po before I yield the floor back to our chairman. Meron po bang kasama na reshuffle or transfer kasi po hindi po komportable ang ilang negosyante? May reforms nga po. Ang may nakarating ho sa akin, kinakabahan siya na baka isipin daw po ng RDO siya yung nagsumbong sa amin, nakarating sa amin. Meron po ba kayo ngayon na reshuffling ng mga tao na transfer yun dito, alisin, ilagay doon sa malayo para the usual process na baka balikan yung mga businessman po natin?
Meron na po tayong ilang personal movement na isinagawa noong mga nakaraang linggo at meron pa pong mga susunod na reshuffling.
Ongoing po itong reshuffling po ninyo?
Yeah. Ongoing po ito, Mr. Chair, at meron po mga susunod pa na personal movement.
Meron din po ba kayong move na i-dismiss sa serbisyo yung talagang sobra yung reklamo na? Baka, then, syempre, after due process,
Yeah.
meron din po bang ganun ngayon kayong sinusundan?
Definitely po, Mr. Chair. Kung ang ebidensya ay magpapatunay na talagang may malaking kasalanan na nagawa na nangangahulugan na dapat siyang mabigyan ng parusang dismissal, i-dismiss po natin sila.
I reserve my other questions later, Mr. Chair, so I yield the floor back to you.
You, Senator JB.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning. Anyway, it's nice to know, to hear about the reforms that have been instituted by the agency in view of the numerous complaints from taxpayers and stakeholders regarding itong irregularities and inconsistencies in the conduct of tax audits. In the past, the BIR already suspended its tax audit and ito pong issuance of the LOAs. Ang tanong ko lang, Mr. Chair, since the suspension of your tax audit, what have been the findings of the BIR, especially those revealed during the first hearing of the Blue Ribbon Committee? Ano pa yung ibang findings, especially during the issues that were brought out during the Blue Ribbon hearings?
Mr. Chair, yun nga po, ilan po sa mga pangunahing findings namin is yung overlapping audits, multiple audits in a given taxable year, although covering different types of taxes. It becomes too difficult for the taxpayer to comply. So that is why we abolished the task forces, we abolished the VAT audit units, and we now consolidate the audit into just one letter of authority per taxpayer per taxable year, for a given taxable year. And then, yun nga po, we have to make sure na merong clear implementation of the guidelines, nasusunod po ang due process, nasusunod po ang karapatan ng taxpayer during the audit. Kaya sa ating pong bagong patakaran, each and every stage of the audit will have to be well documented. Yun pong discrepancy discussion ay kinakailangang maging meaningful at engaging between the taxpayer and our auditors. Hindi na maaaring hindi sila napapakinggan at hindi na-evaluate ng tunay at extensively ang mga dokumentong isasubmit nila sa BIR. Kung kaya nga po kinakailawang may minutes ang discrepancy discussion at kinakailangang each and every stage of the audit would have to be properly documented. Kung anuman po ang findings, kung anuman po ang assessment, there has to be clear factual and legal basis para po maiwasan na yung speculation na bloated ang assessment, walang basihan ng assessment, napakataas ng initial assessment for some other motive. Yan po ang hopefully ma-address na ng bagong policies na inilabas natin.
Likewise, during the first Blue Ribbon Committee hearing regarding the abuse, ito pong issue ng weaponization of the LOAs, yung mga lumabas na issue, no, yung issuance of multiple LOAs that are being used, at least ngayon po ay we could see, no, na that a lot of issues that were brought up then were considered, no, of course, in the reforms that are being instituted. Ngayon po ay 1 LOA na lang per year, no? So bawal na talaga yung multiple LOA, and also yung the abolition of the task forces, no. Hopefully this will avoid confusion and overlapping, no, yung mga authority, tsaka na ano talaga to eh. Likewise, can you ano?
Senator JB, may I interject?
Yes.
Dati ba ilang years? Ngayon, one LOA per year sa isang taxpayer.
Ngayon po
Dati ba ilan?
Ngayon, before po kasi po pwedeng umabot sa 3 ang kanilang
year.
LOA given at
No, how many
particular
years?
taxable.
Yung how many years na nag-i-issue ng LOA?
Pwede pong ma-issuehan ng LOA up to 3 years pabalik.
3 years.
Kasi yun po ang standard.
Kasi ang prescriptive period ng LOA is 3 years, di ba?
3 years po in general po. 3 years.
So parang nothing much has changed kung ginawa mo na lang na 1 LOA per year. Kasi kung nagpe-prescribe naman siya after 3 years, during the period of the issuance hanggang sa may assessment pa, effectively mga 2 years na rin yun at least, di ba?
Opo.
So parang ganun din.
Opo.
Kasi magpe-prescribe din.
Yes.
So anong reform meron doon? Na ginawa na lang 1 per year?
Before po kasi is umaabot sila ng 3 letters of authority sa isang taxable year. Meron silang VAT audit for the first semester, may VAT audit sila for the second semester, and then meron pa silang audit of all other internal revenue taxes other than VAT. So 3 po yun. Ngayon po, so kung 3 po ang kanilang audits, ongoing audits, 3 audit ang kinakaharap nila, 3 grupo ng BIR personnel ang kaharap nila at kausap nila, at 3 submission ng voluminous documents. Dahil bagamat ibang audit naman po yun, ay interrelated din yung issues. Ngayon po, since isang audit na lang, isa na lang ang kakausapin, isa na lang ang magkakandak ng audit, at isang submission na lamang po ng
Yeah.
documents.
Thank you for the clarification. Senator JB.
Thank you. Likewise, ito pong ano, no, we're interested doon sa ano, ay nice to hear, no, na meron tayong system generated na. So hindi na ito yung pwedeng projectin yung isang taxpayer, for example. So probably, Mr. Chair, if I know you have already explained it, siguro briefly, kung ano pa yung features, no, of this, paano nga yung, so ang mag-identify na lang, system na lang, kung merong discrepancy, lahat, hindi na yung mga revenue officers, hindi na yung officials.
Yes po, yung system na po ang magsasabi, ang magluluwa noong pangalan ng mga taxpayers na dapat i-audit. Base rin sa record na nasa system dan po.
Senator Jamie, may I interject? Mr. Chair. So yung system po, pero pag lumabas sa system, dadaan pa po yata sa inyo. Tama po ba yung pagkaintindi
Yes po,
kanina? At approvehan
i-approve
ninyo?
ko po.
Tsaka makapag-issue, ibababa nyo sa RD?
Sa revenue region po or sa large taxpayer service.
Tsaka makapag-issue ng LOA. Tama po.
Mag-a-assign po muna sila ng personnel na magkakandak ng audit for them, dahil at that point po, anonymous pa, hindi pa nila ang alam ang identity ng taxpayer.
So dadaan po sa table ho ninyo yung system na i-generate na kailangan i-audit nitong ABC Corporation. Dadaan ho sa inyo yan kung sang-ayon kayo, hindi. Is that correct?
For final approval.
For final approval. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sen. JV, thank you.
Thank you. Siguro before we continue regarding this yung system, we're interested in that, no? At least malaman din ng tao na talagang this is the most important reform that has been instituted. Paano ba naging paano na-abuso yung issuance ng LOA nun? Was it just the RDO level? Sila lang po pa nag-i-issue? Hanggang saang official ang pwedeng mag-issue? Kaya dumami, di ba? Meron pang ang issue, Mr. Chair, na mga fake LOAs, no? Na marami tayong complaints that may mga fake LOAs that were also being used for extortion and weaponization. Sige po, Commissioner.
Mr. Chair, meron pong various allegations, no? Allegations po of ng pang-aabuso, allegedly. So, ang ilan ho na sinasabi nila is yun nga ho, suki system. Paulit-ulit na taxpayer ang na-audit for for the given taxable year at pataas ng pataas ang assessment nila regardless allegedly of whether kung magkano ang income talaga na kinita nila for a given taxable year. And then another allegation is bloated assessments. Allegedly wala raw hong basihan yung mga initial assessments. So yun ho yung mga allegations ng mga taxpayers na hopefully po masusolve nitong bagong policy at sistema natin.
Senator JB, yung pati yung pag-authenticate, mas madali na ngayon, di ba? Dahil maiwasan ng mga fake LOAs.
Opo,
kasi nga, yung taxpayer mismo, yung public mismo, may verify,
Pupunta lang po sila sa website
Website.
ng BIR at online po mabe-verify nila kung totoo, authorized yung
Okay.
LOA na in-issue sa kanila.
Alright. But ang isang kirin dito is information campaign. Kasi kung hindi rin alam ng public, lulukuhin din sila ng mga salbahing BIR. Hindi rin nila alam kung paano mag-authenticate, di ba? So, how much have you done to widely disseminate this information, yung mga reforms?
Yeah. Well, to the
new
extent
system?
to the extent that we could po, Mr. Chair, dinisseminate po namin itong information na ito through social media,
Yeah.
through other channels. At yun nga po, nakikiusap din kami sa aming mga private sector partners sa kanilang mga
Kailan yun
kliyente.
start ito ba? Itong nilaunch ito?
Nilift po namin ito noong, yun hong lifting ng suspension was done last January 7. Ay, itong local verifier po.
Yung system
Noong
generated.
January 12 po namin inilabas ang revenue memorandum circular informing the public of this new feature
Kaya
of
ako
the
tinanong,
BIR website.
and I can only speak for myself. Ngayon ko lang narinig, and I wonder if my colleagues here have known about this before today. Alam niyo ba ito?
Last week.
Even the staff siguro hindi nila alam. So kung hindi namin alam, siguro kulang yung dissemination.
Mas
And
i-intensify.
that's also important because kung hindi alam ng public, they are, susceptible to unscrupulous, not just BIR personnel, maski yung mga nagpapanggap na BIR, pwede silang kaldagin, di ba?
Opo.
I-harass.
Yes po, Mr. Chair. Rest assured po na ipatutuloy-tuloy pa po namin ang public information on this new LOA verifier. Although na-check po namin sa system at marami na rin po, significant na rin po ang numero ng mga gumamit ng system to verify their LOAs. The last time that was last week, mga 6,000 na po ang hits doon sa aming system. Meaning to say, 6,000 po ang nag-verify ng LOA nila doon sa system.
Out of how many taxpayers?
For now ho, meron tayong 45,000 existing active letters of authority.
Sa LOA lang.
Sa LOA
Nice
po.
one. Okay. Thank you, Senator.
Mr.
Jay.
Chair, with the indulgence of Senator JB again. So, suggestion lang siguro, Commissioner, Mr. Chair. Siguro para to disseminate this information further, siguro po you have to talk to business associations, and then the media also, one of these days you can do a press conference para talagang ma-disseminate po, makarating po, lalo sa social media. Ngayon naman po, pag nagpatawag ka ng press con, may kasama na rin po mga vloggers. So, you want to do that. And at the same time, yung mga business communities for organizations like Filipino-Chinese Chamber, etc., yung mga maliliit. And then the international community. Kaya nga po, nag-umpisa po itong hearing natin because nagreklamo na po yung 2 ambasador na sobra na, pati po yung mga investors natin tinatamaan ng LOA. So kaya tayo pa-imbestiga. You might want to do that. Just a suggestion, Commissioner Mendoza. Thank you, Sir
Yeah,
Jay.
gagawin po namin yan, Mr. Chair. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you. So ngayon narinig natin no, yung bagong reforma na system generated na kung sino po yung i-audit, and at the same time it has to go through the commissioner's office. In the past, nasa RDO level at pababa. So maring hindi alam ng dating commissioner no, yung mga nangyari. Pwedeng posible na because of the authority granted to them, talagang you can say that it was prone to abuse kasi nga hindi na mo monitor no ng higher ups of the BIR officials. So right now yun nga ang concern ni Senator Lacson, baka mamaya wala na hong oras kayo magpirma kung talagang commissioner ang commissioner mismo ang pipirma nung narinig namin, pero I think meron na kayong sistema no that you devised no already. And tanong ko lang po itong software o itong program that you are using now, sinimulan lang niyo ito no after the Blue Ribbon hearing, and because sandali pa lang, ilang buwan pa lang no na it's not easy to make a program no para maging bagay dito sa sistema. So kailan niyo sinimulan tong Commissioner Mendoza?
Yeah. Meron pong existing system actually. Nandoon po yung mga taxpayers' information. So in-enhance lamang po yung system by embedding the core criteria for the system to choose the taxpayers to be audited based on the information na nandoon na po, existing na po doon sa system.
So at least now, with this kind of system, we can be rest assured that hindi na at least malalaman na ng at least higher ups, no? Unlike before, na pwede talagang maabuso kasi nga hindi alam to because of the authority granted no with this system that was been instituted. See, I think for Commissioner Lumagi wants to say something.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Just for clarification also, sinimulan po natin kasi itong audit selection program during my time as well. Dahil nga po, we recognize that yung suki-suki system, gusto po natin ma-eliminate po yun. That's why we started we also supported the automated selection process for selection ng kung sino po yung masasubject ng audit. And just for further clarification po, yung system po na yan, i-input po lahat dyan kasi meron pong RMO regarding sino-sino ba dapat ang ma-audit. May mga certain red flags po yan na naka-enumerate. Kapag pasok po kayo dyan sa criteria, yan po supposedly ang sinusunod ng mga RDOs. Hindi po dapat purely discretionary at kung sino-sino lang ang gusto nilang i-audit at ayan ang ma-audit. Meron pong issuance po yan na may mga criteria tapos based sa submission ng financial statements during the year-end ng April, i-examine supposedly yan dapat para makita if may red flag ba talaga pasok doon sa inisyong issuance kung talaga bang dapat ma-audit itong mga taxpayers na to. So, kumbaga merong procedure po pero manual yung pagpili ng taxpayer kung sino yung ma-audit. And we recognized also na syempre baka yun nga po may abusong pwede mangyari dahil kunyari palalabasin na pasok siya doon sa criteria pero hindi naman. That's why we were gearing towards the automated selection process. So yung system po na yan, naka-feed po dyan yung RMO na criteria kung sino-sino ba dapat ang ma-audit. At based on doon sa pag-input ng mga criteria na to, yung system po yung pipili. Kaya lang since it's just the beginning, hindi po natin kayang fully implement po ito. That's why during my time, nag-implement po tayo gradually. Nung nagsimula po tayo at nag-mandate po tayo na 30% at least dapat automated selection. And as the years go by, pagka nakita natin na maganda na yung system and perfect and walang system error, dahil alam naman po natin pagka systems ang pinag-uusapan, garbage in, garbage out. Kung hindi maganda yung information na nandyan, hindi rin magiging tama ang iluluwang i-issuehan ng LOA dahil hindi pa perfect yung system. That's why gradual yung nagiging implementation. And right now, I think naayos na naman po at 100% fully automated na po yung pag-select po ng mga taxpayers for audit. Yun na po, Mr. Chair, just for clarification on that.
So the system was in place already. So it was just enhanced, no? Kaya medyo mabilis. Tsaka at least na-implement na siguro yan because nagkaroon na ng awareness no, doon sa mga nangyari. Siguro yung ano lang, Mr. Chair, no? Kaya po ito pumutok, ika nga, sabi ko nga noon, nangyari kasi a lot of small and medium scale enterprises yung mga kilala natin sa mga social gatherings have been complaining, no? Medyo marami-rami na they are subject to LOA, na multiple LOAs, ilang taon yun na halos yun ang dumarating sa atin na abuso. Ang problema, sabi ko nga, pag ang sabi nila, kapag nagkasundo doon sa kanilang babayaran, kaya ang problema, yung resibo, napakaliit yung pumapasok sa gobyerno. Kaya parang sabi ko nga dati, kung pakurot-kurot lang, nung huli dakma na no? Sa 1 bilyon, halimbawa, 200,000 lang ang resibo. Medyo sobra naman yon. Ang mas nakakabahala dito, Mr. Chair, is that when the European Chamber, yung Japanese Chamber, and other investors started to complain already. And they were also subject to LOA, the weaponization, and also siguro pwede explain siguro ni Commissioner kung ano pa yung naging complaints ng mga foreign investors. No? I think it's a VAT refund, no? Another issue, kung pwede niyong briefly. Ang nakakalungkot po dito, in the last visit of our president to Japan, yung kanya pong state visit or working visit, naging part po ng bilateral talks ito pong abuse of the Japanese investors subject to abuse by our BIR, no? So dapat talaga ayusin natin to because Mr. Chair, ngayon nga po hirap na tayo sa foreign investments. We are losing to ASEAN neighbors, Vietnam, Thailand, and others dahil sa nangyayari sa atin. We really have to fix our system at pakita natin transparency. So, siguro briefly, Commissioner, did you consult ito pong nag-complaint ng mga European Chamber tungkol sa Japan, no? Kasi talagang naging subject ng bilateral talks. We really have to address this.
Yes po, Mr. Chair. In fact, even during the time na nasa Department of Finance pa po ako, nakikipag-usap kami sa mga various chambers of commerce. I think po yung pinanggagalingan ng concern ng mga multinational companies, ng mga various chambers of commerce, I think po specifically, ito yung RMC 5/2024 as supplemented by RMC 38-2024. Ito po yung cross-border services na offshoot po ng desisyon ng Korte Suprema doon sa ACES case. In fairness po sa Bureau of Internal Revenue, maliwanag naman po ang nakalagay doon sa RMC 38-2024 na ia-apply lamang yung ruling ng Korte Suprema kung ang facts ng case ay kahalintulad ng facts na nandoon po sa kaso na yon. Apparently ho, ang naging reklamo ng mga taxpayers, especially ng mga multinational companies, is kapag nakakita na ng cross-border payment or cross-border services, ina-apply na po kaagad yung ruling ng Supreme Court doon sa kaso na yun. At napakalalaking halaga po ang involved dito that apparently resulted to bloated assessments. Pero maliwanag naman po sa RMC, clear po yun na dapat nakabase doon sa ruling ng Supreme Court. Kaya nga po, ngayon po ay maglalabas na naman po kami ng panibagong Revenue Memorandum Circular, further clarifying RMC 38-2024. At during my command conference with the regional directors, at ito po ay uulitin ko na naman in my command conference with the revenue district officers, ang maliwanag ho na bili namin ay to make sure na kung ia-apply nila ang ruling na ito at magkakameron ng assessment based on that case, kinakailangan hindi ho enough na ilagay lang nila na RMC 5/2024. Kinakailangan hong i-specify nila clearly at i-explain yung facts at yung basis kung bakit in-apply po nila yung kaso na yon. I think po, Mr. Chair, yun po ang pinanggagalingan ng reklamo ng mga multinational companies. Salamat po.
Thank you. And I hope that it will be addressed and clarified, no? Kasi I think we really need to send a signal, no, that we are yung policies natin consistent, no, and then we are addressing yung pong issue na abuse, no, with the reforms that have been instituted. As mentioned by our chair earlier, mas maganda because of the reforms that they have been being instituted, we, as much as possible, bawasan yung human intervention, especially when targeting ito pong those taxpayers who are subject to audit, system generated as you mentioned, pero sa ilan ng RMO 001-2026, may papayagan pa rin ang rekomendasyon ng Revenue District Office sa pagpili ng taxpayer sa pamagitan lamang ng written jurisdiction. So, justification. So, ano ang accepted justification para sa mga ganitong kaso?
Pwede po kasing merong third-party information na ibinigay sa kanila. Na nagsasabing itong taxpayer na ito ay hindi nagbabayad ng tamang buwis. Yung system po natin, yung pag-analyze po ng system natin ay nakabase sa mga dokumento na nandun din po sa system. So kung yung dokumento po mismo ay fraudulent, yun nga po yung sinasabi ni Commissioner June kanina, na garbage in, garbage out. Ang i-analyze din kasi noong aming system ay yung information na nandun sa system. So kung yung document ho, yung returns na pinafile ng taxpayer ay hindi totoo, falsified, hindi ho magiging accurate din yung resulta nung paglabas ng analysis ng system. So possible ho na may mga third-party information na ibibigay sa aming mga regional directors. So ibibigay ho sa amin yon so we can analyze and see if dapat ba silang issuean din ng letter of authority. And at this point nga po, bago po yung sistema, we do not profess na foolproof po ito. Definitely, meron kaming makikitang mga problema as we go along that definitely we will address. So mas mabuti po na meron po tayong mga fallbacks na ganoon to address lang po kung sakaling merong problema doon sa sistema.
Meron concern ang ating chairman, yung standards daw. Meron ba
Clear na standards dyan?
Ibibase din po doon sa core criteria na nakalagay din po doon sa RMO. Ibabangka din po namin yung information doon sa core criteria na nandun din po sa RMO 1-2026.
No, Commissioner, I don't know kung meron itong implication o kaya may violation sa Data Privacy Act. No? Why don't you start cross-referencing with the other agencies? SEC, for example, no? Para sa mga corporate entities. Then LRA para sa mga real estate properties. LTO para sa mga vehicles. I remember suggesting this during one DBCC hearing, when the economic managers were present. Pero parang ang sagot sa akin, baka may problema raw sa data privacy. I cannot relate. I cannot correlate yung relation between the two, no? Paano magbabalit sa... Kasi it's easier that way, ano? Kasi if say a taxpayer, nag-file siya ng income tax, meron kayong cross-referencing with the SEC. Makita nyo naman doon kung stockholder siya ng isang corporation. Meron kayong naka-cross-reference kayo sa LTO. Makita nyo kung tumama yung kanyang final na income tax doon sa kanyang properties na mga motor vehicles. LRA, doon sa kanyang mga real estate properties. Hindi ba mas effective yon? Anong nakita nyong legal problem o impediment in case you do that?
Yeah, actually po, Mr.
Ang dami
Chair.
nyong makukolekt ng taxes.
Yeah, that's true po, Mr. Chair. In fact ho, marami ho kaming data sharing agreement with various agencies. And these agencies include the SEC, Land Registration
Yeah,
Authority,
LRA,
and several
LTO.
other. Ang kailangan lang po talaga namin ay talagang ma-utilize ito ng mabuti, ma-maximize po yung third-party information coming from them. Pero meron na po kaming legal framework. Meron na
Easily
pong
mag-triple yung koleksyon nyo.
Opo.
Will you do that?
Yes po. In fact ho, we have
Para
started...
may hesitation doon sa boses mo, Commissioner.
Yeah, opo. In fact, we have started revisiting our existing data sharing agreements with various agencies at makikipag-usap din po ako sa kanila, sa mga head po ng mga agencies na yun, kung paano pa po namin ma-enhance at mapapabilis ang pag-request ng document sa kanila. Pero insofar as the legal framework is concerned, nandun na po, meron po tayong existing data sharing agreements with various agencies.
Yes, Mr. Chair, to continue, kanina nabanggit niyo po yung tungkol sa system, no? Can you enumerate, Commissioner, what are the criterias that are in the system that would trigger audit or issuance of LOA? Briefly lang po para at least for the information of all the taxpayers.
Mr. Chair, for priority case, ito po yung mga criteria. Taxpayers with drastic decrease in reported sales or VAT payments, taxpayers with significant increase in exempt or zero-rated sales or revenues, discrepancy notices, taxpayers whose excess input tax carried forward in the VAT return of the succeeding quarter is different from the input tax reflected in the VAT return of the previous quarter, taxpayers whose VAT returns reflect substantial input taxes, such as when the total input taxes claimed exceed 75% of the total output tax, taxpayers with income tax due of less than 2% of gross sales or revenues, taxpayers filing percentage tax returns whose gross sales or receipts exceed the VAT threshold, taxpayers with substantial sales but reporting net loss, taxpayers who have been in operation for more than 5 years from inception and who have not yet been audited, taxpayers with increase in assets of more than 50% from the previous year but with reported net loss, taxpayers with claims for losses or damages due to natural calamities or those claiming inventory obsolescence, taxpayers deriving its revenue or income exclusively or substantially from its parent company or subsidiaries or affiliates, taxpayers claiming write-off of input tax as allowable deduction in its annual income tax returns, and taxpayers with share expenses and other interrelated charges being inputted by a parent company to its affiliates and likewise an affiliate to another affiliate in a conglomerate. Ito po mga core criteria po na ito, Mr. Chair, hindi naman po bago. In fact po, doon sa, like for example, doon sa revenue RMO 6-2023, karamihan po dyan ay nandun na rin po. At ito po ay sumusunod sa international standards po.
Thank you. Siguro just one more question before I yield again, Mr. Chair. I'll just listen. What are the revenues per year generated? No? Yung dati po, no, in the past, out of the LOAs that were issued, total LOAs, meron ba kayong figures ngayon?
Opo.
And what was the target? And what was the actual revenue that was collected?
Yeah, ang actual revenue po that is being collected from audits is about 3% of the total revenue collection of the BIR. International standard says around 3 to 5% po ang collection from enforcement. So, umaabot naman po ito sa international standard, yung actual collection from audits.
Yeah, Senator
Hindi po
JB.
talaga ma-expect na kung ano yung discrepancy assessment or yung initial assessment, ayun din po ang actual na makukolekta sapagkat as the audit progresses, nakakapag-submit ng additional documents ang taxpayer, mas na ipapaliwanag ng taxpayer kung bakit hindi dapat siya magbayad ng dagdag, ay doon po bumababa yung eventual amount na binabayaran ng taxpayer.
Yeah, Commissioner, of course, it is too early to judge or assess yung success ng reforms dahil masyadong maaga pa. No? And ang isang good measure is to compare it to the previous years para makita mo kung ano yung spike or kung ano yung success rate. No? So let's go back in time. 3 years kasi ito naman yung period ng mga LOAs. Dito na muna tayo sa mga LOAs issued by RAFT, yung sa task force. I have here some data. From 2023 hanggang 2025, ang total na issue na LOA is 3,520. Ang tanong ko, from that figure, ilan yung nag-proceed sa NOD, sa Notice of Discrepancy?
Mr. Chair, out of the total 3,520 LOAs, 3,004 po ang umabot sa NOD.
So merong 516 na hindi nag-result sa Notice of Discrepancy.
Meron po.
Okay. Anong reason dyan?
Pwede pong nung nagsubmit po sila ng maaari pong nung nagsubmit sila ng dokumento ay nakita po na wala naman talagang discrepancy or tama yung buwis na ibinayad nila kaya hindi na po umabot sa Notice of Discrepancy.
Okay.
Yun lamang po ang maaaring maging dahilan para hindi umabot sa NOD.
So from the notice of discrepancy, ilan yung nag-proceed sa preliminary, yung PAN, ano?
Yeah. From 3,004 po,
Assessment notice.
opo, from 3,004 po, ay 2,284 po ang umabot sa preliminary assessment notice.
So merong 720 cases na hindi nakaabot sa PAN.
Na hindi na po umabot sa PAN.
Ano naman ang reason?
Ah,
Based on studies to, hindi yung speculation.
yeah, well, kung
Kung meron kayong yung factual or actual, hindi yung nag-speculate tayo, maaring ganito, maaring ganon. So,
I can
eto
only...
sa law pa lang, 516, of course, you explained earlier. Pero pababa ng pababa eh. From notice of discrepancy, papunta sa preliminary assessment notice, nalaglag pa ng 720. Okay, let me proceed further. Ano? From PAN, yung 2,284, papunta doon sa FAN at saka yung FLD. Yung final, 983. So nalaglagan pa tayo ng 1,301 cases na hindi nakaproceed sa FAN at saka FLD. Tapos from FAN, FLD, na 983 na nga lang, from an original figure of 3,520 to FDDA, final decision on disputed assessment. Naging 54 na lang eh. Nalaglag pa yung 921, 929 na hindi nakaproceed sa FDDA. So again, going back to the original figure ng 3,520, laglag tayo na nauwi na lang tayo sa 54. So have you done some studies to find out? Kasi you can only succeed if you learn from the lessons of the past, di ba? Para makorek mo yung mga deliberate man yan o inadvertent yung may mga omission na hindi sinasadya para lang mag-succeed kayo. Of course, there are reforms in place. Sabi nyo, system generated and hopefully mag-spike yung collection natin. But if you do not study, if you do not research properly kung ano yung cause or causes, kung bakit ganong kalaki yung drop from LOA hanggang sa FDDA, then I don't see how you can succeed.
Mr. Chair, with respect to the factual circumstances po on this, may I request, Mr. Chair, that Mr. Attorney Rufino Cantaros be recognized?
Okay, kung sino yung nakakaalam, sige nga. Bigyan nyo kami ng medyo kapanipaniwala.
Good morning, Mr. Chair,
Sige, thank you.
honorable members of the Blue Ribbon Committee. I am Attorney Rufino Cantaros, Mr. Chair, and Task Force Coordinator of RAF. Unang-una, Mr. Chair, yung discrepancy po ng numbers ng different stages of the assessment.
To proceed, sasabihin ko yung implication ito pagdating sa pesos and centavos. 2023, 2,472. Rough lang ito ang na-collect, ang amount do sa NOD, 510.49 billion. Ang actual na nabayaran, 6.88 billion. 2024, 379 yung LOA. Ang na-assess, 74.34 B. Ang nabayaran, 790 M. 2025, 669 yung i-LOAS. Ang na-assess, 16.18 billion. Pero ang nabayaran, 280 million. Yun nga, for a grand total of 3,520 e-LOAS issued, yung na-assess, 601 billion, pero ang actual na nabayaran, 7.95. Meaning, kung ang international standard is 3 to 5%, talagang masyadong bagsak sa grado. Dahil in 2023, nasa 1.34%. 2024, 1.06%. 2025, 1.73%. And yung total niya, pag sinuma total, ay poor 1.322%. Malayo sa 3%. So, we can only venture a guess, but go ahead, you proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. To explain the diminishing numbers of the cases as they progress to the assessment stage, Mr. Chair, hindi po ibig sabihin na yung number of cases na umabot sa preliminary assessment notice at nawala sa final assessment notice ay closed or terminated na, Mr. Chair. Yung discrepancy doon, Mr. Chair, is ma-explain is hindi pa po siya natapos or hindi pa tumawid sa next. So, hindi ibig sabihin natapos o nabayaran na siya, Mr. Mr. Chair. And then, ganun din po sa FLD to
Pero ang
FLD.
record dito, paid. Ang actual na nabayaran, ito nga eh.
Yes,
Out of the 601 billion na na-assessed,
Yeah.
base sa notice of discrepancy, ang nabayaran lang 7.95 eh.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So may mga pending pa rito na
Yeah.
pwede pang habulin.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Ang total data po namin, Mr. Chair, is out of the 3,520 na cases, only 412 of that, Mr. Chair, 412, 11%, ang nag-proceed to full or partial payment of the assessment, Mr. Chair. So out of the 412 cases na napabayad po namin, Mr. Chair, we collected 7.9 billion, Mr. Chair, from these cases. The initial assessment from these cases, Mr. Chair, is nasa 40 billion. Or if we get the average, Mr. Chair, it's not 1%, but nasa 20%. But Mr.
Teka,
Chair,
ang figure ko rito, 601 eh, sa NOD eh. Mali ito?
that's the total, Mr. Chair, of the
Sa notice of
3,000.
discrepancy.
Yes.
Based on the assessment, di ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Ano yung 40 against 601? Malayo.
Again, 40 is only for the 412 na nakolekta namin, Mr. Chair, because the difference ongoing pa po yung assessment, Mr. Chair. Hindi pa siya closed case.
So yung 7.95 billion, to sa 3 years, meron pa kayong pwedeng makolekta pa dyan?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Actually, ang remaining case or outstanding cases po namin ngayon, Mr. Chair, na hindi pa na closed, nasa 3,108 pa, Mr. Chair, with
Okay.
an assessment of 560 billion.
Nasaan
Mr.
level
Chair.
na yan?
Yung iba nasa preliminary, yung iba nasa FLD, FDDA, Mr. Chair. Yun yung nabanggit nyo po kanina na mga stages, Mr. Chair.
Now, my another relevant question is, can you further streamline the audit process flow? Kasi masyado mahaba. Alam mo, pagka tinitingnan ko ito, marami siyang opportunities eh. I'm only referring to unscrupulous, not to the good BIR personnel. No, exempted sila rito. Alam mo, being a police investigator for so long, laging ganun takbo ng isip ko eh. So, paano nyo pa further may streamline? Meron bang pwedeng ma-eliminate pa rito para mabuhasan yung opportunities for corruption, for harassment? Say from NOD to PAN to FAN, FLD, meron pa ba kayong pwedeng makompress pa rito na hindi masasacrifice yung inyong investigation?
Pag-aaralan po namin, Mr. Chair, kung paano na pa namin mas mapapaiksi or masisimplify. Pero
Yeah.
nasa tax code po kasi itong mga
I know.
procedure at stages
I know,
na
pero
ito.
pwede naman yung sa pag nag-issue kayo ng memorandum order o kaya, di ba?
Yes.
O pwede kayo mag-suggest, mag-propose ng legislative measure, ano? Or legislative proposal along this line. As long as it will not sacrifice yung trabaho, yung efficiency. No? Kasi the more steps na included sa process, may opportunity lagi eh. Kaya bawas ng bawas eh. So and I hope na hindi hindi pa tapos, sabi mo. So pwede pa makakolekta pa.
Yes, Mr. Chair, in accordance with the RMO 1-2026, Mr. Chair, itong remaining 3,100 cases, Mr. Chair, will now be handled by the National Investigation Division, Mr. Chair.
You know, kasi ang nangyayari ngayon, especially sa flood control projects, yung mga anomalies, ano. Parang ito na yung opportunity ng bansa natin para mag-reform di ba? Reform mode. Meron nga joke, being, siya sabi, yung mga biyaya daw, saka mga Bureau of Customs, nung marinig nila yung flood control, nainggit daw sila hindi nainggit. Sabi nila, nagmukha raw silang mga pickpocket saka mga snatchers na makita nila yung ginagawa sa DPWH. So anyway, ano lang yan, that's just ingest. Narinig ko yan sa mga taga-Bureau of Customs, narinig ko yan sa mga ibang taga-BIR. Alam mo, Senator, feeling namin, nagmukha kami mga pickpockets. Kasi hundreds of billions yung pag-uusapan sa flood control Flood control pa lang yun. And I hope, because of this, of all these investigations, indictments, and all, sana mag-reform mode na tayo. No? And this is one good step, at least introduced by the new management, no? Na papunta na sana tayo doon sa reform. After all, magkano na utang ng bansa natin, Commissioner? $17 trillion. And counting, di ba? Kayo rin nahihirapan pag-kolekta Kasi kailangan itaas yung target ninyo para magkaroon tayo, wag lumaki yung ating budget deficit. Every time magde-deliberate kami ng budget, yun din ang problema namin. And I heard from no less than Acting Executive Secretary Recto, sabi niya, wala tayong pera for this year. Parang short na agad tayo ng paano mag-implement ng mga projects kasi counted na or factored in na yung borrowings. Parang something like 200 billion yung kukulangin. And they're looking for solutions on how to address that. Actual to hindi ito yung projected deficit. Sa 2026 budget na naipasa, short na sila do sa mga items appropriations ng at least 200 billion pesos. And I suggested a solution. Sabi ko, FLR ang katapat niyan. para mawala para ma-menos yung 200 billion mahabol nyo, mag-FLR kayo. Especially those that are not agency-initiated projects. Yung mga na-insert lang sa House, sa Senate, sa BICAM. So yun lang ang pwedeng solusyon Otherwise, short talaga tayo. Naka-input na dyan pati yung loans, yung borrowings natin for darating this year. Kulang pa rin tayo. And that's shocking, I think this is the first time that I heard na merong actual na, nandyan na yung GAA approved na, short pa rin tayo. So, food for thought na sana magsama-sama na lang tayo sa reform. Di ba? Nandyan na rin lang. No? And if you think of the consequences, lalo ngayon, ang laki ng kulungan do sa Payatas ba ito? Kung mag-iisip tayo ng konting kalokohan, isipin na lang, i-project na natin sarili natin na nandun tayo nakadilaw. Yun na lang isipin natin, siguro magre-reform tayo. Di ba, Commissioner?
Opo, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Before you sleep at night, imagine na lang sarili natin na naka-yellow uniform at nandoon at kasama yung kumakain ng ginisang munggo. No? Kasi 100 pesos lang yung meal allowance. Yung mga ganun ba? Doon na lang tayo tumingin para kung meron tayong gagawin kalokohan, let's think not twice, not 3 times, but siguro 10 times. Makakatulong pa tayo sa bansa. Thank you, Senator Erwin.
That's all for me, Mr. Chair.
That's all, Mr. Chair. Likewise, siguro, I'll just add on what the Chair has mentioned. We need the BIR and the other revenue-generating agencies of government now dahil nga talagang medyo mabigat yung short, 200 billion right now. So, kaya nga po, now that you already, kaya nung natigil yung LOA at lahat, at ngayon, papayagan na. But with the reforms that you have instituted, we are expecting that this time around, we will have much bigger revenues to be collected, no? Na sana naman yung pumasok na may resibo na ngayon, talaga mas malaki na para we need the revenues badly, no? Because of what was mentioned by our chair na talagang 200 billion kaagad yung shortfall na this early. So we will need. So good luck with the reforms. Okay, actually I'm very satisfied at least po yun. As mentioned also by former commissioner, no, the reforms that are instituted are expected, no, yung pong initiated by the current commissioner will be expected, no, to minimize abuse this time and increase the much needed revenues, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, may pahabol pa. Mr. Chair, to the new commissioner, these reforms are really wonderful. It's a way forward. Pero alam mo niyo naman ho, Mr. Chair, uso sa atin dito yung sinasabi ni Askugon. Meron dito reform, pagkatapos after ilang buwan, wala na mangyayari. So expect po dito po sa bagong pamunuan ng Bureau of Internal Revenue, we will continue to monitor the Specialist Committee. At hindi lang po ang committee na ito, pati po yung mga negosyante. Saan po ninyo because meron po silang ways na makapag-sumbong po rito. Then there's also the media who's watching. So we're expecting, Mr. Chair, na this new administration, the BIR, will really do its best. Good luck po dito sa ways forward ninyo. Thank you po, Mr. Chair.
Okay, before we wind up, may follow-up question lang. Ano? Dito sa mga figures na pag-usapan natin, ilang yung nag-settle, kaya nag-drop?
Mr. Chair, we have 412 cases. Out of the 412 cases, Mr. Chair, 58 cases dito po ay uncontested assessment. Ibig sabihin po, binayaran nila yung buong assessment.
Yeah.
And for the remaining 354 cases, Mr. Chair, which is 10% of the total cases we handled, on average, Mr. Chair, the gap between the initial assessment and the actual payment, Mr. Chair, is nasa 80% on average. Pero case per case, Mr. Chair.
Ilang percent yung nag-settle? Meaning hindi na nag-question, nag-settle, parang middle ground, na inalaw. Nangyayari na, di ba? Parang nakipag-usap, tapos, sige.
11%, Mr. Chair.
11%.
412 is 11% of the 3,520 cases that we handled, Mr. Chair.
Sino nag-approve ng pagka may settlement na ganyan?
Mr. Chair, the adjustments of the initial assessment starts from the submission of documentary evidence by the taxpayers, Mr. Chair. So, from the audit validation.
We understand, kasi maraming factors dito, yung pagsisettle. May mga political intervention. Naintindihan namin yan. Ang tagal na natin dito sa serbisyo para, hindi naman para kayo parang masyadong rigid na walang patawad at saka walang parang hindi pwedeng kausapin. No? And there are people na hindi nyo rin matanggihan, di ba?
Mr. Chair, the process of the...
Sino nag-approve niyan? Yung
Well,
finally, pagka halimbawa, inassess halimbawa ng 20 million o 10 million, gusto makipag-settle ng so much. Sinong final approving authority? O sige, pwede na yan.
The process, Mr. Chair, is the submission of evidentiary documents, and then upon validation and review along the process, Mr. Chair, once the recommendation reach at my level, Mr. Chair, I discuss the findings of the audit conducted with our commissioner because this is
So that's between you and the commissioner.
yes,
Walang ibang layer. You report directly to the commissioner.
yes, Mr. Chair, on the recommendation of the
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Mr. Yeah.
Commissioner, meron bang insidente na nauwi sa zero pag may nakikiusap? Wala naman.
Mr. Chair, wala naman po. In fact, makikita naman po natin na maganda yung collections from the Run After Fake Transactions program.
Yeah.
On the average, almost 20 million per case ang nakolekta po natin compared with sa mga usual na regular LOA. Ang average po niyan, mga wala pang 1 million ang collection per LOA. Ito pong sa RAFT, more than almost 20 million per LOA ang nakolekta po natin.
Erwin.
May question lang po ako both for former Commissioner Lumagi at Commissioner Mendoza. Noong panahon ho ninyo, I'm sure may mga businesses na, o ba't maliit ang binayad mo? Kasi boss, sasabihin niya doon sa auditor, palugi ho kami. Anong actions ang taken, ginagawa po ninyo pag sinabi niya, palugi po ako, as a matter of fact, magde-declare na po ako ng bankruptcy kasi ito na lang po talaga ang sales ko. What do you do with that? Tapos may utang siya na ganito kalaking taxes. Noong panahon ho ninyo, binibigyan niyo po ba ng chance, you listen, or hindi, bayaran mo talaga at wala kang sales? How do you deal with that? Yung nakikiusap na, lugi ho kami sir, ito talaga yung income lang namin, ito po yung mga receipts namin. What do you do with that?
Well, Mr. Chair, definitely po pinapakinggan po natin yung mga sinasabi po ng mga taxpayers. In fact, meron po talaga mga ganyan. And kasi minsan ang laging, I'm not sure if narinig niyo po yung iba sinasabi, kailangan taon-taon dapat tumataas ang collection kahit na bumaba yung revenues. My instruction then was, hindi dapat ganun, hindi naman porke dapat tumataas ang goal natin, dapat ang lahat ng taxpayer tumataas din ang tax payment kahit na malinaw naman na bumaba naman talaga ang revenues or nalulugi. That's why the instruction then was we all listen to the taxpayers and make sure na pakinggan at kunin lahat ng mga documentations yan, especially if substantiated yung mga pagkalugi. Of course, ayaw naman natin patayin ng mga negosyo. Gusto po natin na mag-thrive ang mga negosyo dahil yun naman din po pagka natulungan natin ang mga negosyante, mas lalaki ang collection eventually kapag natulungan natin silang umusbong pa yung kanilang negosyo po.
Thank you. I would like to ask, Mr. Chair, Commissioner Mendoza, ano po yung ways forward niyo? I'm sure sa mga darating po na buwan, may magsasabi na lugi po kami, Commissioner, baka pwedeng ganito lang, X amount, ito lang po talaga. Ito yung libro po namin, bulat-latin ho ninyo, makikita ho ninyo na we're losing. So how do you deal with that?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, ang mandato po ng Bureau of Internal Revenue ay mangolekta ng buwis efficiently but fairly. Kung totoo naman po, base sa mga dokumento and tax returns na isinabmit or audited financial statements na isinabmit ng taxpayer na talaga naman pong lugi siya ngayong taon, kahit po kumita siya noong mga nakaraang taon at malaki ang binayaran niyang buwis, kung ngayong taon po ay lugi talaga yung negosyo at maliwanag naman po sa mga dokumento, ay yun lamang pong buwis na dapat bayaran kung meron man ang dapat niyang bayaran. Hindi ho policy ng Bureau of Internal Revenue na pigain ang mga negosyante at pagbayarin ng ganitong amount regardless of the actual circumstances of their business.
Mas meron po siyang proof na we're losing business BIR, baka pwede ito lang pong babayaran namin. But the BIR still will determine kung magkano babayaran niya based on the losses niya. Tama po ba?
Well, ang babayaran naman pong buwis ay nakatakda rin sa batas. Yung tax rates po natin ay nakatakda sa batas. So, at the end of the day ho, factual yung issue eh. Magkano ba talaga ang kinita mo or magkano ba talaga ang losses mo? Kung totoo po na may losses ka or kung totoo na ito lamang ang kinita mo, ang dapat mong bayarang buwis ay katumbas lamang ng buwis na dapat bayaran sa actual na kinita mo. Regardless kung nung mga nakaraang taon ay malaki ang kinita mo at malaki ang buwis na ibinayad mo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's all for me.
Okay. JB.
That's all, Mr. Chair. The reforms that were presented by the BIR now, at least kahit pa paano, we'd like to appreciate, we thank them also, as a result of our Blue Ribbon Committee, the first Blue Ribbon Committee hearing, nagkaroon na ng resulta. Hopefully, this will really improve. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, as a parting shot, gusto ko lang ulitin, reiterate yung sinabi ko kanina. Hindi natanong yung iba rito, pero ito yung aking message. Before you start thinking of doing something foolish, just imagine yourselves, or yourself, wearing the yellow uniform na may malaking PDL, person deprived of liberty. Kasi alam niyo, pag capital punishment, pag umabot sa plunder, ang prescription niyan 20 years. So even yung ginawa mo 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, pag nabulat-lat yan, baka merong pagkalagyan. So yun lang, and I hope you can re-echo this to your personnel in the field. Na yun lang, I think that's a very good deterrent because mabivisualize mo eh. Somebody wearing a yellow uniform mingled or commingled with the ordinary prisoners, or detention prisoners, yung persons deprived of liberty. Pag may gagawin tayong kalokohan at yun ang inimagine natin, mapapa-hold back tayo sigurado. So anyway, good luck and congratulations. And sabi nga, ano bang movie ba yan? Yung Lord of the Rings, May the Force be with you. Thank you very much.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.